Hi everybody, this is a quick walkthrough of a database driven website I've put together just for our course on August the 2nd. All the files that you see are going to be provided, including the database, so this is exactly what you walk away with. We're going to try and recreate as much of it as we possibly can on the day, but for now what I'd like to do really is just go through the site and familiarise you all with it, so that we don't have to do this on the day. So excuse the design, it's been done very quickly, and it's more just to show the concepts rather than a professional looking website. So anyway, it's a clothing website, and you can see I have categories of clothing across the top, and also the admin section is accessible through a link. And just to give you an idea of how it's working, if I click on a category, it will display all the items, the stock items that belong to that category. And I did not put images into the database, so if anyone wants to know how to do that, I can discuss that on the day. But anyway, if you have a look here, each time I click on a link, it's taking me to the category page, and it is sending the ID of the category I'm clicking on through in the get array. So there it is there. That's pants is category ID 3. So they are being pulled dynamically down. This is the same page being accessed. So the content there is dynamic, it is changing depending on the user's behavior. Similarly, if I click on a particular stock item here, it takes me through to a page called item.php, and you can see there it has picked up the ID of the stock item I clicked on, and then it's displaying a bit of information, again very poorly formatted. So if I click on the French terry skirt, for example, that is the third item in my database, and you can see there's the French terry skirt coming up with the price and a little bit of a blurb. So that is roughly how the site's put together. In terms of what's powering it, if I just go into the database here, I've got three tables. The category table, which just has a list of the, in this case, 5 categories that you see in the navbar. I also have a stock table, which contains all the stock items that they have in catalogue, and you can see with each one it shows which category it belongs to, and we do this by the ID of that category. So everywhere you see a 1, those are the skirts, so that you can see pattern knit convertible skirt belongs to skirts, the linen embroidered tie back, and so on. So those 4 that you can see there, which have a category ID of 1, back here on the website, if I go to skirts, there are the 4 that belong to category ID 1. Okay. So that's how that's working. I also have a user table, which I'll have a look at in a second. So anyway, that's the front end of the site, and typically that's what I would expect from my Year 12 class. And at Year 13 that's a good start, but they should definitely be doing a little more than just selecting from a database. They really should be writing to it, or editing, or even deleting items. So in the admin section I'll be looking at how we do that. So with this one here, I have password protected it, and I've put, oopsie, that password in, and I think I've typed it in wrong. Give me a second. There we go. So that password I just typed in is actually also encrypted. So if I come to the user table here, you'll see that the password I typed in was certainly not that big long encrypted hash there. So I'm using the SHA-1 encryption method, and in the description, when this is uploaded to YouTube, in the description there I'll have a few links if you want to read up on SHA-1 encryption. I'll talk about it on the day, but it might be useful to have some background knowledge. So we'll look at how to do encryption and why. But anyway, we're back in here. I can log out. That will just log me out and prevent users coming in here and accessing the stuff. I can add a category, so quite easily if I just put in a new category called test, and I have a confirmation page, so if I go back, I can change that if I want, and then I can confirm it, and instantly you'll notice it has appeared up here as a new category in my menu. Similarly, if I come to my category table now, test has now appeared in my table. I can edit that category if I wanted to, so I could come into here and I can change that to test 2. Again, I have the option of confirmation, which is always important. Typically that tends to be more of your excellent student, particularly at Year 13, but it's good for the kids to be aware of it even if they're not able to do it. But if I confirm it, you can see it's updated it. And finally, I can also delete the category as well. So if I come in here, choose the one I want to delete, and again with deletion, confirmation is rather important, so double check that it's the right one, and yep, and you can see now it's disappeared. And if I come back and I rebrowse through my category table, you can see it's been deleted. Alright, now so I'll put that category back in just to demonstrate another couple of things. Back here in the admin panel, I can also add new stock items. So if I just put in this as a stock test, I'll have it as part of that test. It's a bit pricey, $100. The top line here, this was just like a catchy, catchy statement goes here, and the description goes in this big box here. So I can submit this. Once again, I'm given the option of confirming something. So yep, that's right. If not, I'd go back and I could change stuff here. Now we're using session variables, so that's something else we'll talk about on the day. And then when I confirm it, then it goes. So if I go to my test, now you can see there's stock test. When I click on it, the information's in there. And similarly, actually, if I go to the database and go to my stock table, you'll see that down the bottom there's stock test with a price of 100 and catchy statement and description. I can edit the items when they're displayed. I've got loops within loops here, and we'll talk about those. You can see what I'm doing. I'm looping through all the different categories, and each time I loop through a category, I then loop through all the stock items belonging to that one. So down the bottom you can see that stock test is the only one belonging to the test. So I could go through here and say, you know what, it's actually far too expensive, we'll change the price. And once I confirm that, it will change it to $80. I can also delete the item, but one interesting thing as well, if I go to delete the categories called test, there's also a little catch in here which says warning, there are stock items that belong to it. So if I actually delete that category, those stock items will also be deleted, which is quite a useful warning. You don't want your user deleting the category and then having all these stock items floating around your database that they don't belong to anything. So something like this is really important for your students to think about. So I'm just going to go and delete that, and that should, all going well, clear that category and that stock item out. So anyway, that is the, there we go, stock has disappeared. That is the website we're going to be working with. Like I said, I'll provide all the files for you. We'll do some of the coding. The stuff we'll probably be looking at is how we can add, edit and delete a category. If we get time, we might look at other items as well. One thing that's probably worth noting is when I add a stock item, this drop down here in the category section, that has been populated by the category table here in the database. So that is actually a dynamic drop down menu there, or drop down list. So that's the site. Thanks for watching that. Hopefully if you've got any questions about it, please come ready to ask them. But the good thing is by doing this, we don't have to burn too much time on the day going over it. So anyway, look forward to seeing you all, and thanks for watching.